70%. Chapter 281 is playing for a few days. After a long time, Shen Yi said something coldly. In this case, it would be better to have Lu Mingming here. Shen Ling didn't understand why Shen Yi suddenly said such a thing. How could Lu Mingming be the only one? It is a huge hidden danger for him to stay here. If other people are sent, there will be a chance to breathe. Why let this hidden danger stay here? We have to try our best to solve him. Shen Ling didn't understand what Shen Yi said, thinking he was going to give up on himself. But have you ever thought about how we can deal with a stranger who we don't know at all? If they send someone they don't understand, it is better to let Lu Mingming, who knows the bottom line, stay by his side, which can also reduce some hidden dangers. After hearing what Shen Yi said, Shen Ling understood what Shen Yi was worried about, but maybe the people they sent next time would not be like Lu Mingming. Maybe it will be better to deal with. How will you know if you don't try it? It's a bit risky to finish this thing, but Shen Ling didn't want Lu Mingming to stay here. Their understanding of Lu Mingming also means that Lu Mingming understands them. Thinking of this, my heart was up and down, and I couldn't calm down for a long time. Maybe we can deal with the next one more easily. Hearing this, Shen Yi also understood Shen Ling's painstaking efforts and knew what Shen Ling was thinking. Thinking of these, I couldn't calm down for a long time, but I just didn't let my heart fluctuate too much. But I always feel that there is no need to understand others again, and it can't bring us any help, and it will add a lot of trouble. 99. Shen Yi has no spare energy to deal with those troubles, so it is better to let them understand and stay by his side. It can reduce the occurrence of some troubles. Seeing Shen Yi so stunned, I don't know what to say. How to deal with this matter in the end? You can only follow Shen Yi's arrangement, and your own decision has no meaning. Since you're not ready to deal with Lu Mingming, you must have an idea about what to do next. Why don't you just tell me directly? Seeing Shen Yi being so calm with himself, Shen Ling also wanted to see what Shen Yi was going to do next. Now that I know Lu Mingming's true face, I can't keep pretending like nothing happened. Shen Yi also knows that now that they have learned about Lu Mingming's true face, they can only further understand what Lu Mingming is going to do now except by pretending that they don't know anything. Apart from that, there is no other way. Thinking of these feelings seems a little depressed, and there is no way to calm down for a long time. I know you're in a hurry, but now, we have to play with him and see what purpose Lu Mingming has. Seeing Shen Yi like this, Shen Ling was silent for a long time, not knowing how to respond. However, some things can only be like this. 0. For flowers. Don't worry, as long as you don't say what to do next, I'll always pretend I don't know what to do. Although Shen Ling couldn't do anything, he could choose to protect Shen Yi's safety so that this matter would not be exposed to him as soon as possible. Seeing Shen Ling like this, Shen Yi smiled and let him leave. On the other side, Lu Mingming was lying comfortably in the room alone, thinking about what to do next. After all, there are more and more people under control, and it is more difficult to reveal his identity, and when he thinks of this, his heart blossoms. 0. But he didn't know that he didn't control Shen Ling at all, but instead exposed his ability. Everyone was worried because of this, and they didn't know what to do in their hearts. The next day, Lu Mingming wanted to seize this opportunity and let Shen Yi do what he wanted to do before leaving here. He came to Shen Yi early, and Shen Yi was shocked when he saw Lu Mingming appear in his room, and didn't understand why he came here. Why didn't you take a good rest in your room so early, and instead ran over to find me? Is there any discomfort? Shen Yi tried his best to suppress his doubts and precautions about him. His face was calm, and he asked Lu Mingming with a faint smile. Seeing Shen Yi caring about himself, Lu Mingming was just about to take action when Shen Ling suddenly appeared. Why did you come? Did something happen? 1. 70%. Chapter 282 Returning to the Cloud-Shaped Planet. Shen Ling knew that Lu Mingming had come to Shen Yi for a purpose, but he was not aggressive. Instead, he asked about Lu Mingming's situation and watched Shen Ling's attitude towards him change, but Lu Mingming didn't worry too much. It's okay, the two of you are talking here, I'm just here to see Shen Yi. 35. After Lu Mingming finished speaking, he left in a panic. Why did you suddenly ask me to come over? Did you discover something again, or did Lu Mingming hurt you secretly? Shen Ling didn't understand why Shen Yi suddenly shouted, 980, and came over, and his heart was filled with a lot of questions. Don't worry, Lu Mingming didn't do anything to me, but I already have a plan in my heart to deal with this matter. As long as you follow my requirements, there will be absolutely no problems. Shen Ling didn't expect to frown yesterday. Shenyi thought of a way to deal with it at this time, and was surprised. Suddenly, there were a lot of questions in my heart, but I didn't ask them. How can you tell me directly? After all, what is the solution? Only if Shenyi tells him can he help Shenyi to do Shenling, who knows nothing, and he seems helpless. After a long time, my heart suddenly calmed down, and my heart did not change too much. Let's stop following the original route, change the route, and prepare to go elsewhere. Shenling didn't know what Shenyi was thinking, and was a little surprised. After all, this was the destination Shenyi had been looking forward to for a long time. It took so much effort to finally set off again. I didn't expect Shenyi to change the route now, and my heart was full of a lot of questions. Why the sudden change of course? Is it because you don't want to go there? Don't worry too much about that matter. If Shenyi can't solve the problem at hand now, it doesn't make much sense even if it's over. Let's go to the cloud-type people first to see what's going on. I want to see their attitude. Since these things are related to them, Shenyi wants to know what will happen when he appears in front of them without incident. Shenling understood what Shenyi wanted to do, but those people could do so well in front of Shenyi before, and now there will be no problems. I don't think you can see any clues even in the past, so it's better. You just need to change the route. I know how to do the rest, so you don't have to worry about it. Soon this matter reached Shen San's ears. Shen San was very happy when he knew that he was going back to his hometown. Even if he lost his memory, he knew that that place was his hometown. Lu Mingming didn't expect Shenyi to return to the place where he lived so soon, and he was full of doubts. After thinking about it, he didn't reveal any clues. After all, he took the initiative to find Shenyi and wanted to ask clearly. Why do you want to go back to that place all of a sudden? We didn't say that there's nothing to do and we won't go there again. You don't really want to go to that abandoned spaceship to find out what happened. Seeing that Lu Mingming actually came to him personally because of this matter, Shenyi looked like he had succeeded in his goal, with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth, and his expression was very calm. Shen San's strength has become more and more powerful recently. I want to take him back and let his family see his changes. Shenyi was calm. Lu Mingming always felt that things were not so simple. How could it be because Shen San decided to go back there? But his memory has been erased. It's not so important to go back. It's better to do more important things first. Facing Lu Mingming's aggressiveness, Shenyi didn't know how to deal with it for a while, but at this time Shen San suddenly ran out. He came to Shenyi to thank Shenyi for taking him back to where he was born and raised, but he didn't expect Lu Mingming to stop him. Feeling a little dissatisfied, he took aim at Lu Mingming without saying a word to Shenyi. 3.6 You can't say that, although I have no memory, but I know that it is where I was born and raised. At first, Shenyi had nothing to say, but now his appearance interrupted his plan, which made Lu Mingming a little angry that Shen San appeared at an inopportune time. I'm not afraid to delay Shenyi's plan. In the end, Lu Mingming became a little far-fetched and left in a daze. Shenyi, thank you so much for taking me back to my hometown. I haven't been back for a long time. I really miss you. 71%. Chapter 283 Double Faces. Shen San took Shenyi's hand, reluctant to let go, and said a lot of words. At first Shenyi just didn't speak, smiled and looked at him very kindly. But after a long time, Shenyi felt that Shen San was too long-winded and said a lot of useless words. Shenyi looked a little irritable. After all, we have to see how the cloud-type person reacts to him. Don't get too excited. After all, there is still a long way to go before you can return to your hometown, so I just went to have a look, and I will have energy after going back to the room to rest for a while. Only then did my aunt realize that she was too excited to stay in Shenyi's room for so long, delaying him from doing other things, and bowed her head in shame and walked out. Shenyi lay on the bed and looked at the ceiling, sighing helplessly, not understanding why the cloud-type person had such a good attitude towards him, yet he still wanted to let himself down. Soon, Shenling ran in and looked at Shenyi, as if he had something to say. We have already arrived at Xiao'er's hometown. Should we go down now, or let Shen San go do some work? Shenling did things according to Shenyi's requirements, but he didn't understand what purpose Shenyi wanted to achieve. Let's go straight off the ship and see how they treat me. Clouds soon learned that a spaceship had descended on their planet, and many clouds came at once. When they saw Shenyi coming down from above, they were shocked and didn't understand what Shenyi was doing here. The cloud-shaped man's expression changed a lot, and Shenyi saw it in his eyes. But his expression changed very quickly. A smile on the corner of his mouth quickly ran over and he took Shenyi's hand. Why did you come to our planet again? Did you encounter any difficulties? And if you need help, just say it. Looking at the cloud-shaped person who was smiling at him in front of him, Shenyi did not feel at ease, but was extremely frightened. Realizing that this group of people actually has two faces, facing his smiling heart but not knowing what he is thinking, it is very terrifying. Nothing happened this time. It's not that Shen-san has made great progress and just wanted to take him to his hometown to see. The cloud-type leader was apprehensive, and when he heard Shenyi's words there, he breathed a long sigh of relief. Thinking that their worries are unnecessary, Shenyi and the others have no other purpose for coming here. Soon, a place was arranged for Shenyi to rest here, but Shen-san was in contact with a lot of cloud pedestrians. Lu Mingming never separated from Shenyi from the beginning to the end. He knew that he couldn't reveal any clues and pretended not to know the cloud-type person at all. Shenyi deliberately let him live in a room far away from everyone, and Shenling came over because of this. I don't understand why Lu Mingming should live alone. In case of any accident, no one can monitor his actions. What the hell are you thinking? It's okay to come back suddenly, let him. Seeing Shen Ling's angry look, he just smiled. Only by letting Lu Mingming make sure he is safe can he do what he wants to do. Don't worry, you must pay attention to Lu Mingming's every move and see if he will do it. 55. All the good things that were discussed in the past are all their guesses, and they can only have evidence in front of them. After understanding Shen Yi's good intentions, Shen Ling felt a little ashamed, thinking that he didn't ask Shen Yi clearly and started questioning Shen Yi. It really shouldn't be, and he should do what he asked. Don't worry, I will monitor his every move with 980, and I won't let Lu Mingming take advantage of it and hurt you. Shen Ling swore a promise and left. Shen Yi is not sure if he will gain anything this time. No matter what kind of gain, at least he can get to know the details of the other party and see how big the risk is. This is a rare opportunity to communicate with Yun-type people about his recent actions. Lu Mingming will not miss this opportunity. If I miss this opportunity, I don't know when the next meeting will be. Even if they have a way to communicate, it will be clearer to speak face to face. When Shen-san returned to his hometown, he played with those playmates who had communicated with him. The leader didn't even look for Shen-san, as if he had completely abandoned him. 71%. Chapter 284 reveals flaws. Lu Mingming did not act recklessly because no one was monitoring him. Instead, he stayed in the room and didn't do anything. Seeing that he didn't act, Shenling was anxious. Coming here itself is to catch Lu Mingming's clues, but now it doesn't seem to be going according to Shen Yi's plan. Shen Yi didn't get any news, but he was not in a hurry. He believed that as long as he stayed here, some clues would be revealed sooner or later. It is impossible for everyone to be perfect, and to collude with everyone, even the leader of the cloud-type person can't do it. Lu Mingming stayed in the room for too long. After all, he couldn't hold back and wanted to go out to get some air. This is where he was born and raised, and he is very familiar with what he does around here. When Shen Ling saw that he finally came out, his heart blossomed with joy, and he felt as if he was in a dream. As long as Lu Mingming leaves the room, there are many opportunities to gather some clues. Looking at Lu Mingming alone, he didn't mean to go to anyone at all, and he frowned for a while, not knowing what to do. At this moment, a soldier suddenly approached Lu Mingming slowly. Lu Mingming looked at this soldier and didn't feel very familiar, so he took the initiative to lean over, as if he wanted to ask him something. Shen Ling stared at the two of them intently, as if to see some flaws. Why did you suddenly come back? It wasn't the leader who asked you to control Shen Yi and let him fall without knowing it. Lu Mingming did not expect that the cloud-shaped person in front of him would suddenly say such words, and looked around. After confirming that no one was monitoring him, he was a little closer to that person. Why did you suddenly say these words to me? If someone were to monitor my every move, wouldn't our plan be exposed? Seeing him so angry, the soldier didn't know what to do, and suddenly hugged Lu Mingming. After you left, I worry about your safety every day, and what danger will happen to you. The two of them had a good relationship before and grew up together, but later Lu Mingming had his own mission and was forced to leave. Seeing him come back safely now, after all, he can't control his emotions. At some point, Shen Ling and Shen Yi suddenly appeared behind Lu Mingming. Shen Yi looked coldly at Lu Mingming and the man's actions without saying a word, but Shen Ling couldn't stand it any longer, interrupting their behavior. Lu Mingming, shouldn't you explain something to us? Why are you cuddling with him here? 9. Shen Ling's voice suddenly pulled Lu Mingming's consciousness back. He knew that he must not reveal his identity now, otherwise the next task would be even more impossible to complete. Why did the two of you suddenly come here? He was suddenly uncomfortable just now, so let me check it out so close, don't get me wrong. Shen Ling didn't expect Lu Mingming's reaction to be so quick, and being able to say such a thing surprised him. Shen Yi didn't respond for a while, which made Lu Mingming very uneasy. After a long time, Shen Yi calmly asked. It's not that I don't believe you, it's just that there are some things I think I have to ask clearly. Do you know the cloud-type person? Lu Mingming looked at the cloud-shaped person next to him, although he wanted to admit that he knew him. If he admits it, it is equivalent to revealing his identity, and Shen Yi still doesn't know how to guard against himself. Backquote, I don't know each other, just seeing that you have such a good relationship with the cloud-type people, I also want to do something for them. Seeing that there was nothing wrong with Lu Mingming's remarks, Shen Yi knew that this was not the most suitable opportunity to question Lu Mingming. Okay, I believe you, but in the future, don't get too close to people you don't know. 35. Seeing that Shen Yi actually believed in himself, who promised money, Lu Mingming breathed a sigh of relief. Realize that the longer you stay here, the more dangerous your situation will be. When do we get out of here? It's not very good to be here on this planet bothering people all the time. 99. Previously, Shen Yi was just taking Shen San back to see his home on an excuse. He had been staying here for a long time, and it was time to leave. I couldn't find any other reason to stay here, so I nodded my head. Soon, Shen Yi said goodbye to the cloud type and left here. Lu Mingming watched him leave here again, and he felt a little reluctant, but he didn't show it. 71%. Chapter 285 Strengthening Military Power. Shen San stared at the scenery outside without moving his eyes. Lu Mingming could fully feel Shen Ling's gaze, which was always on him and never moved. In order to prevent more of his behavior from being discovered by him, he took the initiative to approach Shen San, trying to appease his emotions. Don't be too reluctant. After all, you will follow Shen Yi in the future, and the number of times you return to your hometown is too small. The frustration on Xingsan's face disappeared immediately, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Looking at Lu Mingming next to him, he naturally knew what Lu Mingming said. Even though he was full of reluctance to part with his hometown, it was impossible for him to abandon Shen Yi. Choose to follow Shen Yi's side and protect his safety. Don't worry, I'm just reluctant to leave Shen Yi's side, in order to return to my hometown. Abandoning these words, Shen San didn't look back and left, leaving behind Lu Mingming and Shen Ling 980. Shen Ling naturally didn't want to spend too long with him, so he turned and left. Looking at the back of Shen Ling's departure, Lu Mingming's heart was up and down, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. After Shen Yi left that planet, he suddenly remembered that he had left his power behind because of messy things recently. It has been a long time since I consolidated my strength, and other players might take this opportunity to become stronger and stronger. Once someone surpasses Shen Yi, it becomes more difficult for Shen Yi to stand out in interstellar space. Think that you can strengthen your own military power first, so as to make yourself stronger. Shen Ling is not good at this aspect of things, and only by handing it over to Shen can it be done in the fastest time. AHDG. Shen Yi hurriedly ran to find Shen who thought that something had happened on the cloud-type planet. Is Lu Mingming doing something again? Don't worry, I will definitely protect your comfort from any danger. Seeing how serious he was, Shen Yi smiled and reassured him. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about Lu Mingming's affairs. Shen Ling will handle it alone. I came to you for other reasons. 5. After Shen heard what he said, he breathed a long sigh of relief, realizing that he had been worrying too much. Then you come to find me, and there is always a reason for what it is. Shen Yi was not the kind of person who would come to find him for no reason at all, so he couldn't help feeling a lot of pressure. It's not a serious matter, but I just hope you can help me consolidate my strength. 39. Shen was a little surprised, and waved his hand quickly. This matter has always been done by Shen Ling, and he can't help at all. It wasn't always Shen Ling who helped you do this before. Why did you suddenly think of looking for me this time? I don't know anything about this matter. Seeing Shen panicked appearance, Shen Yi smiled calmly, without any emotion. I don't know how long it took before Shen Yi explained. I just hope you can rearrange your troops and strengthen my military. When Shen heard that he was doing what he was good at, he let go of his dangling heart and realized that he had just filtered it out by himself. Okay, Don't worry, I will soon make those interstellar monsters even more powerful. Seeing his confident look, Shen Yi was also relieved, not to waste time on this matter. Soon Shen Yi's strength was spread to the entire interstellar space, and many people thought that Shen Yi was so powerful. If you can alliance with him, after all, you will become famous, and maybe you will get some benefits. Soon, some people took the initiative to find Shen Yi, and Shen Yi saw other spacecraft parked around the spacecraft. Fearing that they were plotting against themselves, they did not launch an attack after a long time, but instead received signals from several spaceships. We have all heard of your strength and want to cooperate with you. As long as you let us join you, we will definitely not cause you trouble. After hearing that they were going to cooperate with him, Shen Yi was not happy, but rather frowning. Shen Ling saw that so many people sought cooperation with Shen Yi and tried their best to blossom, and thought that if these people joined Shen Yi and became their alliance, their strength would definitely become more powerful. Why don't we agree to their participation? It just happens that we can expand a bit, and our strength will become more powerful, fearless, and we will know more people. 71%. Chapter 286 Visit Shining Star. But Shen San, who was on the side, didn't express his opinion from the beginning to the end. Seeing Shen Ling and Shen Er quarreling over this matter, Shen Yi felt a headache. After all, the two of them have the same opinion on this matter. The two of you don't quarrel anymore. I have my own ideas. Even if the two of you quarrel until tomorrow, it won't make much sense and won't change my decision. Shen Yi's words suddenly silenced the two of them, but Shen San next to him asked at this moment. How are you going to deal with these people? After all, these people don't know each other, and you don't feel relieved when they suddenly come to take refuge. Shen San considered Shen Yi's situation and accepted them as a hidden danger after all, and it might bring them much danger in the future. Seeing that Shen San considered those people's thoughts, Shen Yi smiled. Although I agree that their alliance with me can gain more power, but have you considered what their purpose is? We don't know at all, is it just superficial? Shen Yi's words made Shen Ling feel ashamed. He only saw the benefits, and didn't worry about the hidden dangers. Then how are you going to deal with this matter? You can't keep them around us all the time, and the spaceship is very difficult to drive. Shen Yi finally rejected those people. Those people were rejected by Shen Yi, and they also knew Shen Yi's character when they came. As long as Shen Yi didn't accept them from the beginning, no matter how much thought he spent later, it wouldn't make much sense. After all, the spaceship would slowly disperse. After they could drive normally, Shen Ling was curious about where Shen Yi was going next. Is it to go to the place that I have been thinking about before, or there is another destination? Things have developed like this, and Shen Ling didn't know what he was thinking in his heart. You can only take the initiative to ask Shen Yi every time to see what he can do to satisfy him. Now we have also looked at the attitude of the cloud-type people, and where to go next is according to the previous plan, or... Seeing Shen Ling suddenly come to find him, Shen Yi just remembered that he hadn't told him where he was going next. Thinking about it, it has been a long time since I went to see Yaoxing. Just at this time, I looked at the situation on Yaoxing's side, and by the way, I thought about how to solve them. They have been sent there to guard them, which will seriously affect the development of the Shining Star Empire, and now they are no longer a threat. Let's go to Yaoxing's side first. It is good. Shen Ling didn't ask a word, just followed Shen Yi's request. Soon came to the planet of Yaoxing, and saw that the Yaoxing Empire was not as strong as before under its own destruction, and even those subordinates became few. Yaoxing was also surprised to see Shen Yi appearing in front of him, not knowing why he came here this time. He had already told him everything he knew. As for the result, Yaoxing had not been by Shen Yi's side all the time. 0. Why did you suddenly come? Do you still have any questions to ask me? I have told you everything I know, can I just let the Yaoxing Empire go? Yaoxing has done what he can do, and he is helpless when he becomes what he is now. Don't worry, I just have a look, you will be free in the future, all the people I arranged here will be taken away, I don't want to kill them all. 0. After hearing that Shen Yi was going to let them go, Yaoxing was happy for a moment. Shen Er didn't understand why he had managed to control an empire, why he just let them go, when it was clear that they were going to hurt Shen Yi. Let's just let them go. What if they become stronger and bring us a threat? We should take a long-term view and not allow them to redevelop recklessly. Seeing that Shen Er didn't want to let him go, Shen Yi smiled. Okay, you just need to do as I ask. I didn't think about killing them in the first place. 95. Shen Er is good everywhere, but in the face of the enemy, he will only have the idea of killing them. He didn't even consider whether it was necessary or not. Shen Yi had already seen that the Yaoxing Empire would not become stronger in the future. Don't worry, they won't become stronger, they won't pose any threat to us. 1. 72%. Chapter 287 heard the legend. Shen Er knew that he already had his own thoughts on this matter. Even if he said more opinions, it would be meaningless. It would be better to let Shen Yi go according to his own true thoughts, which can also reduce some unnecessary troubles. Yaoxing didn't have any gratitude because Shen Yi let him go. People in Yaoxing Empire started to discuss because of Shen Yi. Did he find the opal, and why did he put all of them away when he came back? Yaoxing, why did 983 suddenly let us go when Shen Yi found Maoyan? There was a person who had a good relationship with Yaoxing and asked directly about it. If Shen Yi didn't even know about Yaoxing himself, it was inexplicable whether Shen Yi had found the opal from beginning to end. Now that I heard other people ask this question, I think it's okay to ask Shen Yi. Maybe this is also an opportunity for them to regain their strength. If they miss this opportunity, I am afraid it will be difficult to return to the past. Shen Yi, there are some things I want to ask, can you answer me? After letting Yaoxing and the others go, Shen Yi was about to leave, but he didn't expect to come to him first. Seeing his awkward look, Shen Yi frowned, not understanding what the other party was going to ask. My heart was up and down, and I couldn't calm down for a long time, but I tried to calm down as much as possible. You can ask anything you want to know, you don't need to hide it. Shen Yi believed that he would try his best to answer the other party's questions without leaving any bad impression on him. Have you found the opal? Can you tell me about it? Although Yaoxing knew where the opal was located, but after spending so much effort, he felt a little uncomfortable when he didn't see the opal. We found the opal. Don't worry, the news you gave us is indeed correct. When Yaoxing knew that Shen Yi got the opal, he felt a little uncomfortable. After all, he spent a lot of effort to get the news, but he didn't expect it to help Shen Yi. Thinking of these, I couldn't calm down for a long time, and hung a faint smile. Soon, Yaoxing heard the rumors about the cloud-type person again, and knew that it was a powerful creature, and if he could take it as his own, he could get a great improvement. Thinking of this, my heart was up and down, and I couldn't calm down for a long time, but I tried to calm down as much as possible. I am afraid it is very difficult to want to pass, and the black hole that I could not overcome before, how can miracles happen at this time? Thinking that Shen Yi had already obtained the opal he was thinking of, he must know how he could go there and come to Shen Yi directly. Shen Yi hadn't left yet. Looking to go, he came to him again and again, full of doubts in his heart. Where is the problem? You want to come and ask me for help. Yaoxing also knows that he has come to Shen Yi a lot of times, and he really doesn't want to trouble Shen Yi, but there are some things that Shen Yi knows, and no one can help him. Can you take me to that planet? I really want to see what the cloud people are like there. After hearing this, Shen Yi was stunned for a moment, not knowing what to do for a while, so he calmed down as much as possible. Shen Yi just went there just now, and doesn't want to go there at all. Those people are plotting against Shen Yi, trying to hurt him, and seeing them Shen Yi gives a headache. I've been there before coming here, there are no plans to go there for a short time, there are other things to do. Yaoxing didn't expect Shen Yi to go there again before he came, and didn't understand what he did there. However, it can be seen that every time the cloud-type person is mentioned, Shen Yi's expression is not very natural. Just take it to help me and take me to see it, you can't just watch the Yaoxing Empire 3.6 decline like this. Seeing this situation, Shen Yi calmed down a little bit. It's not that he didn't want to help the fearless empire. It's not that I don't want to help you, it's just that I have my own hidden secrets, you should not go to such a dangerous place. Seeing Shen Yi rejecting him, he was still a little unwilling, thinking that he might be afraid that he would become stronger and take revenge on him. It was beyond his expectation that Shen Yi could let the Yaoxing Empire go. 72%. Chapter 288 is gone forever. Don't worry, I won't come to trouble you when I become stronger. Seeing that he was going to misunderstand himself first, Shen Yi stopped him, not because he was afraid that the Yaoxing Empire would come to find trouble for him. It's just too dangerous to go there and it takes a lot of time. I want to do other more important things, so I don't want to go with him. If it is to get opals, they are naturally willing to give some shining stars. If it's for the opal, I can give you some, but for other purposes, I'm afraid I can't help you. Seeing him like this, Shen Yi didn't know what to do for a while, so he calmed down. The focus of Yaoxing is not the opal at all, he wants to get to know the cloud-type person. Oh 7 I just want to see what that kind of powerful creature is like and how to live in such a harsh environment. I don't have any other thoughts, I just want to meet that kind of powerful creature, and see that he has actually reached the goal of the cloud-type person. Shen Yi was powerless in this matter, and knew that he was in great danger. Even if he helped the other party himself, he would not be able to solve the fundamental problem. Sorry, I can't help you with this matter, I have other things to do. Yaoxing had abolished the power of 9 bulls and 2 tigers, and did not get Shen Yi's consent. Seeing that Shen Yi was unwilling to take him with him, Yaoxing became more determined, there must be some unknown secret. Otherwise, why did he exclude himself from going to that planet so much, and it wouldn't bring any trouble to Shen Yi? There was some resentment in my heart, and I began to organize my subordinates. A lot of people want to go there and see, no matter how dangerous it is. This time when we go there, it's a near-death experience. I don't know what the outcome will be. Looking at where Yaoxing told them, they were mentally prepared. Soon the group set off in the spaceship, and it didn't take long for them to come to the vicinity of the planet. Looking at so many black holes nearby, they must first start worrying about whether their spacecraft can withstand the suction of the black holes. A distracted spacecraft was almost sucked into a black hole, but fortunately avoided it in time, but did not expect to enter another black hole again. Yaoxing watched the spacecraft completely fall into the black hole, knowing that this time he was really gone forever, and it was impossible to go back. Thinking of how Shen Yi tried to stop him at the time, he immediately regretted why he didn't listen to Shen Yi's advice and insisted on coming here. Even if you don't see that powerful creature, even the chance to go back alive has disappeared. Soon this matter spread, and Shen Yi also knew about it. Not only did Shen Ling have no sympathy for Yaoxing, but he thought it was his own fault and did not listen to Shen Yi's advice at first. It's fortunate that Shen Yi rejected him at the beginning, but why didn't he listen to your advice, otherwise he wouldn't end up like this. Shen Yi didn't mean to watch the show, he understood that Yaoxing knew how dangerous this matter was. The reason for this was to make their empire even stronger, but they never thought that it would never return. Seeing Yaoxing like this, Shen Yi also sympathized with him. Okay, everyone, stop talking about this matter, after all, they have disappeared from our world forever, and they will never come back. If you continue to talk like this, it will bring unnecessary influence to the other party. Others who had been planning how to go to that planet, when they learned that the Yaoxing Empire was gone forever because of going there, many people began to fear. No matter how powerful you are to 983, it is impossible to ignore your own life. Losing life without gaining strength is meaningless. Shen Er also felt that because of this incident, I am afraid that no one will pass. There were so many people who yearned for that place before. I'm afraid that after hearing about this, many people will be afraid and don't want to go there again. Cloud-type people make them feel very annoying, but after all, it is also Shen San's hometown. If the hometown becomes dilapidated because of too many people approaching, Shen Er will feel sorry for it. Shen Yi naturally knew what Shen Er was worried about, but those people cherished their lives very much. In addition to wanting to become stronger, it is to survive well in this interstellar space, and only by surviving can there be a chance to become stronger and stronger. Don't worry, no one will go anywhere. After a long time, they will be forgotten. 72%. Chapter 289 High Price Bidding. Shen Yi said these words without much confidence, but felt that some people might not want such things as cloud-type people for their own safety. No matter how powerful cloud people are, their lives are not as precious. Shen Ling looked at him thinking this way, disapprovingly, always felt that how could those people give up on this? This is an opportunity to increase strength. If I miss this opportunity, I don't know when it will come. Shen Ling smiled and stared at Shen Yi for a long time. Hearing what Shen Yi said, Shen Er breathed a sigh of relief. He firmly believed that every word Shen Yi said was justified, and he would never deceive himself. Since those people would give up like this, there is no need to worry. It was not until Shen Er left that Shen Ling couldn't wait to express the worries in his heart. Shen Yi, we all know other people very well. They are not the kind of people who will give up easily. Even if they don't go in person, they will think of other ways. Shen Yi knew exactly what Shen Ling said, and what he said just now was just to appease Shen Er's emotions and prevent Shen Er from doing more excessive things. But whether it can make them no longer curious about cloud-type people is an unknown number. We can only see what will happen next. We all know Shen Er's character very well. We can't watch him do some excessive things on impulse. We can only find a suitable reason to prevaricate the past. Knowing that Shen Yi did all these things for Shen Er, Shen Ling silently rejoiced and hoped that it was really what Shen Yi thought. That's where things end, instead of getting more complicated. On the other side, many people were hit, but these hits did not reduce their curiosity, and their yearning for cloud-type people became stronger and stronger. No matter how human beings cherish their own lives, they also want to get a cloud-shaped person to make them stronger. For a while, they can't think of any way to satisfy their curiosity. Suddenly, a few people came up with a good idea. As long as they are willing to pay high prices to buy cloud-type people, they will soon attract some people. It's better that we deliberately publicize that we want to buy back cloud-type people at a high price. I believe that some people who want money will definitely do this. After tangled in my heart for a long time, I finally came up with such an idea. Hearing this, everyone was shocked and did not understand why they did this. It's a really good idea. I'll send a message back soon, but I don't know if anyone will arrest the cloud type for money. Some people firmly believe that this matter will have a good outcome, while others are worried that this matter will become more serious in the end. Every word Shen Ling said took into account all aspects of things, and he didn't know what would happen in the end. Seeing him hesitating, Shen Yi smiled faintly, and soon many people wanted to arrest the cloud-type person, but the final result ended in failure. Cloud-type people are not as easy to catch as they imagined, but they did not catch it after a lot of effort, becoming a doubt in their hearts, and they don't know what to do. Soon this matter also reached Shen Yi's ears. Shen Yi had no sympathy for those people, but found it very interesting. If those people were not for money, how could they do these dangerous things, which led to the fox in the end? Shen Yi is busy doing his own thing every day, and doesn't care what those people develop. Those who can't return without success did not give up just because they encountered a danger, and even had other ideas. Thinking that since there is no way to get close to the cloud-type people on that planet, it is better to use other methods. After all, the cloud-type people bought at high prices are really tempting, promising money people. They just want money and have no other malicious intentions. Thinking of Shen Yi's side, there is a cloud-shaped person. As long as he can grab that person, it will be a big gain. The few people who were hit did not flinch when they thought of the way to do this. Instead, they were a little excited, thinking that this was probably the only way they could solve the problem. I suddenly had an idea, but I just don't know how many people are willing to do it together. As long as we get cloud-type people, we will soon be able to divide up those front desks. The people who were hit heard this sentence, and their eyes were full of anticipation. 72%. Chapter 290th Hit Shen 3 Ideas. Speak up quickly if you have any ideas. As long as it can resolve the current predicament, we are all willing to give it a try. Some open-minded people think that no matter how dangerous it is, they must do it. As long as they meet the requirements of the other party, they will soon get a sum of money. It will only be easier to do something next until they get the money they need, and backing off just because of these difficulties will make things more difficult for them. People with ideas see that everyone has a completely different attitude towards this matter, and also know that some people are timid. Afraid of doing bad things, there is no response. If you decide to do this, you shouldn't have any worries. Those who don't want to listen to me can leave this matter now. It is indeed dangerous. The other party is a very powerful person, and we are not his opponent at all. 983 soon dispersed a large part of the people, leaving only a few brave ones who were willing to give it a try no matter how dangerous it was. We can't get to that planet to catch a cloud-type person, but have you forgotten that Shen Yi has a cloud-type person in his hands, and we can make a lot of money with that? After hearing that he was playing Shen Yi's idea, few people were afraid. This was their only chance. Missing this opportunity to make money is not so easy at all. The fear and greed in my heart overlapped, and soon disappeared. Soon a large group of people surrounded himself, and Shen Yi was not surprised to see so many spaceships around. He had heard that most of those who tried to get money had no success, with no results at all. Even if a small part is close to that planet, there is no way to get the approval of cloud-type people. I felt a little complacent in my heart, knowing that these people came here to take Shen San away. Since he chose to let Shen San follow him, Shen Yi would not let others take it away. Shen Er was called over soon, and Shen Er watched other spaceships approaching outside, and was full of alertness. Why are there so many spaceships surrounding us all of a sudden? Is there something unknown happened? Hearing these words, Shen Yi was very calm. They all came here to take Shen San away, and I hope you can stop them and let them beat them to pieces. Shen Er was shocked when he heard the news. He didn't expect that the other party would have the courage to come to trouble Shen Yi. In the past, a large number of people had come to Shen Yi specifically to get the cloud-type person, and they were beaten and fled. It turned out to be like this. Don't worry, I won't show mercy to AHDG them, and I won't let them think we are easy to bully. Leaving this sentence, Shen Er jumped directly from the spaceship, looking at the small spaceships in front of him that did not pose any threat at all. He also didn't want to hurt the lives of these people, but they hindered the normal driving of the spacecraft. If you retreat as soon as possible, don't think about Shen San's business in the future. I can let you go, or your spaceships will be shot down by me one by one. 39. Shen Er's words of deterrence did not greatly stimulate many people, but they were very calm. Stop joking. There is something for Shen Yi to say in front of us that you are just one of his subordinates. Those people didn't believe what Shen said at all, and Shen Er no longer communicated with them and solved the problem by force. Soon the spaceships were crippled and seemed to crash at any moment. Now you have to think clearly for yourself, whether you should stay here to continue the stalemate, or protect your life and leave here as soon as possible. Shen Er also did what Shen Yi asked, knowing that Shen Yi didn't want to hurt the lives of these people, and didn't do it too much all of a sudden. Many spaceships fled quickly, leaving only one or two scattered. Seeing these two very stubborn people staying here, Shen Er knew that this place was probably the kind of desperation, and he was unwilling to leave unless he wanted to achieve his goals. What should be done in the end, but it has become a headache, it seems at a loss, I don't know what to do. Shen Yi paid attention to every move outside, and thought that Shen Er could solve it without much effort, but now it is completely different from what he thought. 73%. Chapter 291 Stay here. Shen San had been resting in his room, but he also heard extraordinary movements outside. He didn't expect such a big sensation. I was very surprised, thinking that something must have happened outside, otherwise it would not be so noisy. The original drowsiness disappeared completely, and he knew that he wanted to find Shen Yi and find out what was going on. Not long after leaving the room, I saw Shen Ling staying there. It seemed to be a headache. Why are you sitting here alone and frowning? The spaceship made a huge noise just now. If there is any danger I can help, I will do my best. Shen Ling was just worried about whether Shen Yi could handle this matter well. He didn't expect to be seen by Shen San. He didn't know what to do for a while, and seemed a little flustered. It's nothing, the spaceship just swayed suddenly, it may not be very stable, and the airflow in the interstellar space will also change. Don't worry, go back and have a good rest. 5. Shen San saw that Shen Ling was awkward, and he wanted to figure out this matter before he could rest assured. Shen Ling, don't lie to me, you are not usually like this at all. Getting along with Shen Ling, Shen San could always feel that he did not welcome him to live on this spaceship. Just because of Shen Yi's reasons, I can only treat myself warmly every day without complaining a word. Suddenly being so polite to himself must have happened something that he didn't want to let him know about. This, Shen Ling came back to his senses and realized that he had been exposed too thoroughly just now. If you have anything to say, just tell me all the consequences, and I will discuss it with Shen Yi, so you don't have to worry about it. It's nothing, other people are thinking of you and want to come and take you away. Shen Yi doesn't agree with this matter, and is fighting against Shen Er. Before Shen Ling could finish speaking, Shen San had already run away. Just as Shen Yi was thinking about what to do with the rest of the people, seeing Shen San coming, he quickly restrained the expression on his face. Why are you here suddenly? It doesn't mean that you should practice well in the room and improve your strength. The energy that the spaceship can improve has everything. Seeing that Shen Yi was not ready to tell himself, Shen San was a little angry, thinking that he didn't want to let himself share. Shen Yi, I know why the shaking suddenly occurred, because someone was thinking about me and wanted to take me away, in order to protect me. Shen San is very grateful to Shen Yi for cultivating himself during this time, but he doesn't want to cause any trouble to Shen Yi. I was very embarrassed that I used so much energy from Shen Yi before. Seeing that he already knew about this matter, Shen Yi also understood that there is no point for you to go down at all, it is better to let him know the specific situation of this matter. There are indeed a few people who want to take you away, but don't worry, I'm not afraid of them, they are not my opponents at all. 0. Katakana middle dot flowers katakana middle dot. Shen San knew that Shen Yi was very powerful, but but even so, he felt a little embarrassed when he thought of all the troubles it brought to Shen Yi, and he wanted to solve this matter with his own strength. I don't want to cause you any more trouble. Why don't I leave here, so that those people don't keep looking for you to stay here? I can't help you much. Shen Ling and the others are extremely powerful, and they can also help Shen Yi share all kinds of pressure. Staying here will only increase the trouble. Seeing that Shen San was about to leave soon to save himself the trouble, Shen Yi sighed and patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, you just stay here honestly. Don't worry about other things, I'm not afraid of them, I can naturally drive them away. Shen San still wanted to say something, but was blocked by a lot of words from Shen Yi, and he couldn't say it all at once. The slightly calmer Trial realized that even if he left the spaceship now, there was nowhere to go, those people would still chase after him relentlessly. Now that he doesn't even have the ability to protect himself, how can he escape from Shen Yi? That would be a failure of Shen Yi's previous protection for him. What you said makes a lot of sense, but I hope that no matter what happens in the future, as long as it has something to do with me, let me know that I want to participate in it too. Shen San didn't want them to bear everything silently for themselves and make him feel bad. 73%. Chapter 292 Forming an Alliance. Seeing that Shen San finally stopped arguing and wanted to leave, he finally breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that those strong-willed people would not just give up. However, the next thing does not need Shen San's help. When he needs his help, he will naturally let Shen San contribute. You just stay on the spaceship to rest and improve your ability. This will not require your help. Seeing that Shen Yi didn't want to help himself, Shen San thought that Shen Yi was doing it on purpose and was just worried about himself. Didn't I say that I want me to solve my own affairs, and now why doesn't 983 let me intervene in this matter? Could it be that what I just said was all to deceive me? Shen Yi struggled in his heart for a long time, organized countless times, and finally came up with some suitable excuses. I didn't fool you. It's just that Shen can solve those people by himself, and we will definitely notify you when we can't. You can let Shen come back and let me deal with those people, so that I can also play my role. Seeing Shen San unrelenting, Shen Yi felt that he was extremely difficult for the first time, and made himself not know what to do. You also understand Shen Er's character. I asked him to do these things, and suddenly I asked him to come back halfway. I must be dissatisfied, maybe speculating about something. You don't want him to be depressed. 55. Shen San and Shen had the most contact with each other. Listening to every word Shen Yi said, he couldn't bear it, nodded his head, and left. Not all of those who fled were ready to give up on the idea. Instead, some people in Interstellar began to call on others to form an alliance specifically to kill Shen Yi. Not being able to let someone as powerful as Shen Yi continue to exist in the interstellar space will only bring more pressure to them. All the good resources are occupied by Shen Yi, and they have fewer opportunities to improve their abilities. Under the banner of better development for them, a lot of people were called together. Many people hate Shen Yi, because Shen Yi has occupied good resources, making them unable to improve their abilities, and soon, a large number of people gathered. Because of the relatively large movement in this matter, Shenling learned the news very quickly and was very shocked. I don't understand why so many people can't tolerate Shen Yi, they are just stronger than them and haven't done anything to hurt them. Shen Yi, I suddenly received bad news, I don't know if you want to hear it or not. When Shenling heard the news, he quickly went to Shen Yi, and the moment he saw him, he calmed down, fearing that he would not accept the news. Speak. With so many things happening, Shen Yi didn't know what he couldn't accept. Now there are some people in interstellar space who have formed an alliance whose main purpose is to kill you. Hearing this news, Shen Yi smiled. He didn't expect so many people to watch it so quickly. Even he is not satisfied with his current strength. He also hopes that he will become stronger, and he is a little excited. Shenling looked at Shen Yi so excited, didn't know what was going on, didn't know what he was thinking, just watched silently. It took a long time for Shen Yi to calm down, and he felt that there was nothing to worry about. However, there are a lot of people looking for trouble for him. With his strength, he can definitely resist the past. Don't worry about this matter, they still need some time, and I just can improve my strength. Shen Yi believes that if this opportunity is firmly grasped, there will be a great improvement. Shenling looked at his open-minded appearance and breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that he was more cautious at this time. I'm relieved that you don't care about this matter at all, but I still think I can remind you and make you fully prepared. What? Shen Yi knew that he must have something 3.6 to explain to himself, and he needed to be more careful. Although those people won't attack you for the time being, you must also pay attention. Lu Mingming will use a knife to kill people anytime, anywhere. 95. Since Shen Ling already knew about this matter, it was only a matter of time when Lu Mingming knew. Maybe he will plan to use the hands of those people, and then borrow some other methods to completely eliminate Shen Yi, so as to achieve the cloud-type people and their goals. Seeing Shen Ling worrying about himself, he was very calm in his heart. 73%. Chapter 293 Advanced Wisdom. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about this matter. I will be careful myself, and Lu Mingming will take adequate precautions. Shen Yi also knew that this was indeed a rare opportunity, and as long as he controlled it well, he could easily eliminate himself. Knowing Lu Mingming's identity, how could he be careless? There is no need for Shen Ling to worry about this matter, he will pay attention to it himself. It's fine if you know it yourself, I have other things to deal with, so I'll leave you alone. After Shen Ling finished speaking, he left in a panic. Next, they will face a fierce battle and need to be fully prepared. Shen Yi deployed everything else after Shen Ling left. It quickly made the other interstellar monsters on the spacecraft full of alertness, and dealt with it anytime, anywhere. With the arrangement properly, Shen Yi suddenly remembered Shen Er. After experiencing the previous incident, Shen Er was still immersed in happiness, and those people were not his opponents at all. The happy Shen Er was surprised when Shen Yi suddenly appeared. Why did you suddenly come? Are those people coming again? I'll go out to fight them. Seeing that Shen Er only wanted to use force to solve the problem, Shen Yi frowned. When most of the people approached, Shen Er could not solve it by himself. I have something to tell you, I hope you can listen carefully. Shen Yi was suddenly so serious, Shen Er suddenly realized the seriousness of the matter. Whatever it is, just say it directly, and I can accept it. Shen Er didn't think there was anything that could put pressure on him, but had some expectations. Recently, an alliance has been formed in the interstellar space. This alliance is specially used to fight against me. In order to prevent them from launching a violent attack next, I must prepare in advance. 5. Hearing this news, Shen Er did not change much. He watched Shen Yi become stronger and stronger, and knew that this day would happen sooner or later. After all, the jealousy of human beings is very strong, and no one wants to watch a person become stronger and stronger, or even occupy all good resources. It turned out to be this matter. Don't worry, I am a high-level intelligent creature, and I won't let others take advantage of this, and I can even protect your safety. Seeing the contrast between his relaxed appearance and his nervousness, Shen Yi suddenly felt that Shen Er was insulting himself. I am so careful not only for myself, but also for all the people on the entire spaceship. You don't think I'm so careful because I'm afraid that I'm not their opponent. I have confidence in you and more confidence in my own strength. No matter how many people come, I can deal with it. Shen Yi spoke with confidence, but he still lacked confidence and was afraid that things would become more and more difficult to control. Seeing him like this, Shen Er smiled, knowing that what he said might have misunderstood him. He didn't mean to insult Shen Yi at all, everyone saw his intelligence and ability. Without Shen Yi, Shen Er would not be today. It is Shen Yi who made his system gradually stronger. I didn't insult you. Don't worry, I will be responsible for surveying the surrounding situation and notify you in time before they can get close. At this time, Shen Er could not be idle, he would help Shen Yi share the predicament. Being able to detect the surrounding situation just helped Shen Yi to solve the current predicament. Then you have to work hard, and I will take advantage of this time to have a good rest. Shen Yi hadn't caught his breath for a long time, and he wanted to take this gap to rest. 983. Notify yourself in time before they get close, and there won't be much of a problem. Shen Er also knew how tired Shen Yi was, and he didn't want Shen Yi to worry too much, it would only increase the pressure. You can rest assured, there will be no problem with Shen Ling and I here, but did you decide not to tell him about Shen San? Shen Er saw Shen San's strength on the spaceship, and understood that he had become more and more powerful, and could indeed help Shen Yi share a small amount of pressure. No, don't tell him, let him improve himself. This matter should not be underestimated. Shen Yi didn't want him to encounter any danger in participating in this matter. Don't tell him that I'll let him do something easy until the end, it's too dangerous to do anything now. Shen Yi doesn't want to put some pressure on him, after all things haven't happened yet. 73%. Chapter 294 becomes energy. Shen understood Shen Yi's painstaking efforts, and was not prepared to talk about it to Shen San. Knowing that their mission is to observe everything around the spaceship and avoid others from sneaking up on them. Observing everything around the spaceship every day, nothing new happens. At first, nothing appeared around the spaceship, and I thought maybe Shen Yi's news was not reliable at all, or when Shen Ling had some subtle problems. Thinking of this, Shen wanted to take a good rest. He was so tense and exhausted every day. Suddenly, I felt something suddenly appear not far away, moving very fast. Shen quickly adjusted his state and found that the one near their spaceship was actually an interstellar monster. Seeing more and more interstellar monsters approaching them, I was shocked and didn't know what was going on for a while. The number became more and more. Shen did not know why there were so many suddenly, and felt strange. Suddenly I remembered that Shen San could communicate with the interstellar monster, calm down and not let his heart fluctuate too much. Quickly ran to find Shen San. Shen San watched Shen suddenly come to him, and didn't understand what was going on. Shen why are you here suddenly? Do you remember something, or do you still need my help? Shen didn't say a word, dragged Shen San and didn't want to leave. Before Shen San could say a word, he was pulled outside, and Shen San noticed the interstellar monsters outside. I was surprised to see so many interstellar monsters, thinking that they had come to the interstellar monster lair. We didn't come to the lair of interstellar monsters, so much at once. Seeing that Shen San thought so, Shen smiled faintly. There is absolutely no problem in Shen Ling's work in this regard, and how could it be possible for the spacecraft to drive into the group of monsters? These interstellar monsters are clearly aimed at them. No, on the contrary, these interstellar monsters are gradually approaching us at a long distance and unknowingly they are getting closer and closer to us. Can you ask what's going on? It was only then that Shen San understood that it was these interstellar monsters who took the initiative to approach the spaceship, but it seemed a little strange that they approached so much at once. I just can communicate with the interstellar monster and figure out what is going on in this matter, which can be regarded as helping Shen Yi share the pressure. Don't worry, I'll try to communicate with them now to see what's going on. We haven't been close to this kind of interstellar monster, so how could it suddenly come over? 35. Shen San tried to communicate with the other party, hoping that the other party could answer his own questions. Why do you suddenly appear here? Shouldn't you be living well on the planet you live in, and wandering in interstellar space at will encounter danger? The interstellar monsters that were gradually approaching them did not seem to expect that someone would be able to communicate with them. After a long time, an interstellar monster responded to him. We just accept the commission of others who are willing to provide us with some of the energy we need, and we just need to come to Shen Yi for trouble. Shen San told Shen the news, and the two realized the seriousness of the matter. This matter is actually related to the alliance organized by those people, and Shen Yi must decide how to solve it. Backquote, Shen Yi, I found a lot of interstellar monsters nearby, and let Shen San have communicated with them. What should I do next? Shen Yi, who was resting in the room originally, was slightly stunned after hearing this. Did you understand why these interstellar monsters suddenly approached us? We did not bring anything to attract them. 99. Shen San knew that Shen Yi was shocked by the sudden appearance of so many interstellar monsters, and he couldn't accept it for a while. But they just promised money, receive the benefits of those alliances in order to cause trouble to Shen Yi. However, Shen San himself didn't know exactly what effect these monsters had when approaching Shen Yi. They were all influenced by the alliance to suddenly approach you, but we don't know what the purpose is. Thinking about it carefully, Shen Yi knew that his strength had never been exposed to others. Even if they formed an alliance, there were many people in great power, and they didn't know their own strength, so they were still somewhat fearful. Don't worry, it's okay, Shen you just go out and solve them. 35. 74%. Chapter 295 and so on. Seeing that Shen Yi was not going to deal with those interstellar monsters, he handed it over to himself. Fear of destroying so many interstellar monsters at once, which will bring uncontrollable trouble. We destroy so many interstellar monsters at once, what if more monsters come to trouble us? Shen Yi smiled lightly as he watched them think things were so complicated. He had already guessed that he sent these interstellar monsters just to test his own strength. You just need to worry about solving those monsters, you don't have to worry about other things, I can handle it by myself. Instead, Shen San was a little worried that Shen alone was not the opponent of those interstellar monsters. After all, there were some S+ rank monsters among them, and it was a little troublesome to fight against. Shen Yi, why don't I help? He might have a hard time fighting those economic monsters alone. 35. No need. Create some illusions for the other party and make them think they know my abilities. 987. As soon as this sentence was said, Shen understood what was going on. He left the spaceship alone and turned into a lightning bolt and rushed into the interstellar monster group. In the distance, everyone in the alliance was staring at the situation on Shen Yi's side. I was very happy to see the interstellar monsters getting closer and closer to Shen Yi's spaceship. Knowing that they will be able to see Shen Yi's strength soon, and also understand whether they will be Shen Yi's opponents. In the blink of an eye, the interstellar monsters disappeared without leaving any traces. Shen Yi has obtained sufficient energy, and Shen Yi is also very happy to see that the alliance has sent so much energy to himself. Shen, you've worked hard this time, but the fact that the other party sent so much energy is exactly what I want. Shen eliminated him AHDG. It was a little difficult, but fortunately it was finally solved. The alliance felt that it had learned that Shen Yi's strength was astonishingly powerful. With so many of them, there will definitely be good results against Shen Yi. Alliance leader Lu Qing is about to start an attack. After all, he has already understood the opponent's strength and attack methods, so there is nothing to worry about. When the others saw that Lu Qing was about to launch an attack at this time, they finally felt a little anxious. What they now know about Shen Yi is only a few skins, and the real strength may not be exposed. We just tested it with the interstellar monster. We don't fully understand Shen Yi's strength. It's better not to be too anxious. They were still a little afraid of Shen Yi's strength, and they were afraid that if they went to trouble with Shen Yi at this time, they would lose some benefits. Seeing so many people hesitating, Lu Qing was a little unwilling. Those interstellar monsters Shen Yi consumed a lot of energy. You are sure not to attack at this time. After all, the interstellar monsters consume a lot of energy from Shen Yi. The people in the alliance also understand what the words of the alliance leader mean, and some things are too anxious, and there will be no good results. Maybe Shen Yi saw what they were thinking and was waiting for them to attack. I think, maybe Shen Yi sees what we're thinking and where is waiting for us. Everyone's thoughts on this matter are completely different, and everyone expresses their own opinions. In the end, I chose to vote for it, and the people who waited a little longer than now launched the attack, and finally decided to wait a little longer. Shen Yi was overjoyed seeing so much energy, thinking that the other party might think he understood his own strength and was thinking about how to attack. After waiting for a long time, there was no movement. I didn't understand what was going on. It was obvious that they sent those interstellar monsters to detect their own strength. You said what happened to them. Why didn't they say they attacked me when there was no movement? Obviously they already understood my strength by shooting monsters. Faced with Shen Yi's question, Shen didn't know how to answer. Maybe those people were getting closer with action, but they hadn't reacted yet. Could it be that they already have action, but we just don't know? Thinking of this, my heart was up and down, and I couldn't calm down for a long time. Look at your surroundings. 9. This is now the most direct way to determine whether the other party has acted. Shen also felt that this was probably the most direct way, nodded his head and followed Shen Yi's request without any hesitation. 74%. Chapter 296. No movement. Shen began to explore the surrounding situation, and there were no dangerous creatures or signs of life nearby. It can be seen that apart from the interstellar monster just now, it is very strange that nothing is close to the spacecraft. To explore further afield, to a few kilometers away to feel the existence of the alliance. Those people were there, motionless, without any movement at all. Seeing that they didn't seem to be ready to act, Shen felt very strange. Stopping exploring, Shen Yi looked at him expectantly, wanting to know if the alliance had done anything. What have you discovered now? Are you approaching us? Seeing Shen Yi's face full of anticipation, Shen didn't know how to say something, but this was the actual situation, and he could only calm down. The people in the alliance didn't take any action at all. They were still several kilometers away, and they didn't seem to be ready to do anything to us. Shen Yi didn't believe them. Since he organized the alliance and didn't act on himself, he must have other ideas. The complicated mood slowly relaxed a little, and looked at Shen Ling who was on the side. Shen Ling, tell me what you think about this matter, why they suddenly don't act. It's impossible to give up the idea. Shen Yi's question suddenly turned to himself, and Shen Ling didn't know how to respond, and even he didn't know what the other party wanted to do. Not understanding what he meant, the more the other party did not act like this, the more dangerous their situation would be. Maybe in order to launch an attack when they are unprepared. No matter how powerful Shenyi and Shen'er are, it will be very difficult to fight against so many people. I don't know what those people think, maybe they are all just for their own safety. Shenyi believes that the Alliance feels that those interstellar monsters will definitely consume a lot of energy, and there is no way to recover in a short time. If they don't seize this opportunity, it will only be more difficult for them to deal with themselves in the future, and they can't help but feel a lot of depression, and they don't understand what is going on. Everyone can express their opinions and say what they think about this matter. After all, this matter cannot be solved by Shen Yi alone, and Shenling was silent for a long time. It doesn't make much sense to speculate here now, no matter what they're trying to do. When they take action, they can respond calmly, which is the best result. I think whatever they want to do, we don't need to speculate, as long as we don't take it lightly. Looking at Shen Ling's serious look, Shen Yi also thinks what he said is very reasonable, and now no matter how much he guesses, the initiative is in the hands of those people. There is really no need for us all to worry about this matter. Hurry back to the room and have a good rest. 35. Soon, everyone dispersed and went back to the room to rest. Lu Mingming did not expect that the people in the alliance would be so timid, and at this time they would not attack Shen Yi. 0. For flowers. He originally wanted to use his hand to make Shen Yi fall, but now it seems that Shen Yi will take the initiative to attack, and the other party responds. With Shen Yi's character, he will not take the initiative to hurt others. Only by controlling Shen Yi himself can the conflict between the two sides become more intense. Taking advantage of the fact that no one was in Shen Yi's room, he pushed the door and entered, but he didn't expect Shen Yi and Shen to be together. Shen Yi and Shen saw Lu Mingming's appearance, and their hearts were full of vigilance. Why are you here suddenly? I'm not telling everyone to rest in the room, in case the League attacks us next. Lu Mingming saw that the two of them were full of vigilance against him, and understood that they had doubts about him. It's just that there is no evidence, and after struggling for a long time, he suddenly covered his eyes and pretended to be uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I didn't expect the two of you to discuss things here, I'll go out now. Shen Yi looked at Lu Mingming with one eye closed, worried that something might be wrong with him, and struggled for a long time. What's the matter with you? The two of us can help you take a look, it's not a very important matter to discuss, you don't have to worry. I don't know what's going on, I just lay on the bed in the room for a while, and suddenly felt uncomfortable in my eyes. Seeing him like this, Lu Mingming was stunned for a moment. Shen didn't think he did it like this. Shen Yi, you should leave it alone. 1. 74%. Chapter 297 Hypnosis. Shen Yi knew what Shen was afraid of, but he wanted to know what the other party was thinking. Don't worry, no matter what, we can't just take a look at Lu Mingming regardless. Lu Mingming watched the two of them keep discussing about this matter, and hurriedly pretended to be in pain. Look now, what's wrong with my eyes, it hurts. Shen Yi stopped the discussion and quickly approached Lu Mingming. Lu Mingming controlled Shen Yi. Shen Yi stopped and sighed. I don't see anything. 987, how can it hurt? Shen you have a look. 99. Lu Mingming was not going to hypnotize Shen but he and Shen Yi were together, and neither of them could let go. Seeing him like this, he was stunned for a moment, not letting his heart fluctuate too much. Shen Yi, I have other things to do. Let's go first. Shen felt that he was strange and could not stay here. You can't leave, how can you ignore Lu Mingming? Shen was forced to be helpless, looked into Lu Mingming's eyes and was also hypnotized. The two stood there without saying a word, and Lu Mingming looked at the two of them. The two of you must be very worried about what the League will do to you. It's better to attack and fill up in advance, so that they have no chance to respond. 39. Shen Yi and Shen remained indifferent to every word he said, not saying a word, just nodding their heads obediently. Seeing the two of them being so obedient, his heart blossomed, and Lu Mingming then asked them to take the initiative to approach in the spaceship. When Shen Ling found out that a small spaceship was missing, he was ready to tell Shen Yi about it. But Shen Yi was empty in the room, without any figure, just happened to meet Shen San on the aisle. I want to see where Shen is, and by the way, find out who is on the spaceship. Why did you come here suddenly? Is there something to look for Shen Yi, or is there another reason? In fact, I went to find Shen and wanted to chat to relieve the depression in my heart. But when he went to find Shen the room was empty, and he couldn't help feeling that Shen Yi had something to do with him. I was actually looking for Shen but he was gone, so I thought he might be here with Shen Yi, and wanted to see what happened. Shen Ling remembered Lu Mingming's strange actions and thought that maybe he did something. Come on, sit down quickly, I'm going to drive the spaceship to chase after them. Shen Yi has already gone to find those allies, maybe he will do something. Shen San didn't know what was going on at all, why Shen Yi suddenly went to find those allies. He wasn't that impulsive character at all. Did something happen? With Shen Yi's character, he won't bother those people at all. Shen Ling's mind was completely gone. He didn't answer his question at all, and only hoped to catch up with Shen Yi as soon as possible. Shen Yi was driving the airship, and soon reached the zero near the Alliance. The people of the Alliance saw a strange airship approaching and did not understand who would come to trouble them at this time. How could an airship suddenly approach us? Could it come to trouble us, but isn't our current target Shen Yi? Just when everyone was talking about this matter and didn't understand what was going on, Shen Yi suddenly connected with them. You are not dissatisfied with my ability, and now I come to you to give it a try. Who is more powerful? 99. The people in the Alliance did not expect that the other party would come looking for him so quickly. They were shocked but calmed down, realizing that they had to deal with him now. Everyone, don't panic, no matter how powerful he is the only one who still drives the airship. Airship's energy is limited and cannot always be available. Before they could think of a solution, Shen Yi had already launched an attack, and the Alliance spaceship was instantly broken in half. In the blink of an eye, the 3.6 spaceship was destroyed in half, and some members of the Alliance were also eliminated. The remaining people were even more afraid when they saw this situation. Seeing this situation, Lu Mingming controlled the two of them back to the spaceship. Seeing them coming back, Shen Ling was a little angry and deliberately targeted Shen Yi. What the hell is going on with you? This matter is a long-term plan, why did you suddenly attack them? Shen Yi just glanced at Shen Ling indifferently and didn't reply. Shen Ling realized that he was hypnotized again. 74%. Chapter 298 How Technology. Shen Ling did not give in at all, but instead quarreled with Shen Yi. Lu Mingming saw that the quarrel between the two of them was meaningless, since hypnotism had cost a lot of energy. I just want to have a good rest, listening to the noise of the two, my ears are ringing. It didn't take long for Lu Mingming to leave completely. Shen Ling saw that he had left, and directly pulled Shen Yi into the room, and woke the two of them up with electric shocks. Shen Yi saw himself appearing here, and realized that he was controlled by Lu Mingming again. Shen Yi himself is not in a hurry to do something to the other party, but now so many things are happening again and again. If no action is taken, in the end all their efforts may really be ruined, or even lost because of Lu Mingming's existence. I didn't expect to be tricked by him again, and I thought he was really uncomfortable before I wanted to show him. 07. He secretly thought that no matter what the situation was in the future, he would no longer care about Lu Mingming, and Lu Mingming had nothing to sympathize with. The two of you quickly think of a way. Is there any way to get rid of Lu Mingming without being discovered by the cloud type? 35. Shen Ling really didn't know what to do, and if there was a solution, he wouldn't have to wait until now. The trouble for them is getting bigger and beyond their control. I really can't help it, otherwise it wouldn't be what it is now. Shen Ling's answer was very helpless, not because he didn't want to report Shen Yi, but because this matter was really too troublesome. Shen on the side also felt that no matter what they did, things would become more troublesome and even be known by some people. It seems that there is really nothing to do. Shen Yi, you are the smartest, think about whether there is any better idea. 39. Shen Yi looked at the helpless expressions of the two and knew that they had no choice. Suddenly I thought of the previous incident of Shen San's memory being cleared. It can clear Shen San's memory. If Lu Mingming's previous memory is cleared, it will not continue to hurt them. Instead, they can live a happy life with them, just like the current Shen San. By the way, do you know what method Shen San used to clear his memory? Shen Ling didn't understand why they were discussing about Lu Mingming, why they became interested in Shen San's loss of memory again. The two things seemed to have nothing to do with each other. We're not thinking about how to solve the hidden danger of Lu Mingming. Why did it suddenly involve Shen San? Could it be that the two of them? Seeing him thinking wildly there, Shen Yi smiled faintly. Everything was completely different from what he imagined. They have nothing to do with each other. I just think that even Shen San can be erased and used on Lu Mingming. Do you know what kind of technology it is? 5. After learning that Shen Yi was only trying to clear Lu Mingming's memory, Shen Ling breathed a sigh of relief. However, Shen Ling really didn't know anything about this matter. so he could only investigate 1 or 2 times to see if there was any result. I don't know anything about this either, but I can look into it. Maybe there are any traces left before that could help us. 35. Seeing that Shen Ling did not reject this matter, Shen Yi put all his hopes on Shen Ling. Shen Ling searched for a long time, but it seemed that there was no result at all about this matter, which was very strange. No matter which aspect of the ability and technology, there should be a little record, otherwise, how can it appear for no reason? Shen couldn't help 987 all the time. Looking at the anxious expressions of the two of them, he didn't understand why it was difficult to get Shen Ling. He was almost omnipotent. Just tell him what you have found out. It's not your character to be so secretive. There is no record of this at all, as if it appeared out of thin air. 35. This ability is the same as the cloud-type person, mysterious and mysterious, leaving no trace. Shen was taken aback and thought that Shen Ling did not investigate properly. Impossible, Shen Ling, you are investigating carefully, don't fool Shen Yi like this. Shen Ling knew that this result was hard to believe, but what he said was true. This matter is very important. How could I be fooled? I really don't understand the result, and I don't know what happened. It's very strange. Shen Ling was at a loss when he first encountered this situation. 75%. Chapter 299 How to Gain Ability. Seeing Shen Ling like this, Shen Yi suddenly realized something. Is it possible that this is the ability of cloud-type people? Shen Ling also thought about it, but if it was their ability, why Shen San didn't have any talent in this area? However, why Shen San does not have this ability is impossible to explain. Because he couldn't understand, Shen Ling didn't count this matter on the cloud-type person. Seeing that Shen Ling didn't understand, Shen Yi explained to him as clearly as possible. You don't have to worry too much about this, I think it's their ability, but everything is Shen Yi's guess. What exactly happened, I still have to ask Shen San. Watching the two of them talk a lot about this matter, Shen thought they were just wasting time here. There's no point in making random guesses, it's just a waste of your time. Let's call Shen San over. The two of you don't have to talk about this matter. 35. Seeing the two of them talking, Shen felt a headache. On the other hand, after Lu Mingming came back, he was afraid that Shen Yi would regain consciousness and remembered what happened before. As long as you are smart, you will definitely realize that something is wrong. I was thinking about how to deal with Shen Yi for a while, but after a long time, there was no result. I always felt that this was a bit strange. Shen Yi had not found out what he had done so far, and he couldn't help but feel worried. Lying in the room also became irritable, and when he just went out, he saw Shen in a panic, didn't understand what he was going to do, thought he was looking for trouble for himself. Why did you come here suddenly? Is there something you want to find me? Shen didn't pay any attention to what he meant at all, instead passed him by his side, and left without saying a word. Lu Mingming felt a little angry when he saw him treating him like this, but he also realized that this matter had nothing to do with him, and heaved a long sigh of relief. Shen San worked hard to improve his strength in the room, but he didn't expect that Shen would suddenly come to him, thinking that something earth-shaking had happened. Why did you suddenly come to find me? Is it someone from the Alliance who suddenly attacked us? Don't worry, I will protect you. Seeing Shen San's nervous appearance, Shen smiled faintly. Don't worry, it's nothing at all. Shen Yi has some questions for you, let's go over there. 99. Shen San didn't show any slights, and left without hesitation with Shen Shen Yi saw the appearance of Shen San as if he saw hope. You're finally here, and I want to ask about the cloud type. Hearing this sentence, Shen San was stunned for a moment, not knowing what was wrong with Shen Yi for a while. What happened to you and asked me to help? Shen San was afraid that the cloud-type person would do something to hurt Shen Yi, and he would be even more embarrassed. I want to ask, do cloud people have the ability to make people lose their memory? Shen Yi didn't say anything about Shen San's amnesia, but only asked about it. When Shen San heard it was about this matter, he immediately reacted. However, the ability of their social type is not controlled, but not necessarily. Not every cloud type is born with the same abilities. Each of us is not necessarily the same in ability, some abilities are innate, and some are acquired. 99. Shen San didn't know what the ability Shen Yi was talking about was, and he was full of a lot of questions. Shen Yi calmed down a little after hearing what he said like this. Don't let your heart fluctuate too much, or calm down a little bit. Can you also learn this ability? After hearing this sentence, Shen San understood his Nuo Qian Jiao thoughts and knew what was going on in this matter. He could learn this skill the day after tomorrow, but Shen San didn't know what the result would be. I even feel that this thing is a little difficult for myself, and it is impossible to do the best. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I won't necessarily learn it. The congenital characteristics of cloud-type people are not the same, and the things they learn are also very different. Seeing Shen San's hesitant appearance, Shen Yi also knew that he could not be forced. However, no matter what the result is, Shen Yi thinks he can give it a try. Result is,